Hey, LinkedIn. How are you doing today? It is Jen Ocknan. I am so happy to be here live with you today. I have somebody who is very, very special to me that I want to introduce to you today. And this is a woman who has really transformed my business. Not only in terms of how I structure for growth, so I don't drive myself crazy creating like a job instead of a business, but also really about how I think through my decision making, how I see myself in the role of a CEO versus an entrepreneur. So, Chelsea, I am just so excited to have you here with me today. Can you just spend like a few minutes just to kind of introduce yourself to the audience here on LinkedIn? And then once Chelsea does that, we're going to get into some great things about Chelsea's background, about this amazing transformative breathwork technique that she has brought to my life. And now that we're bringing it to my clients, that has just brought me so much focus and calm and excitement and productivity in terms of knowing what I should do because I'm finally taking a minute and listening to my gut and then putting those things into practice. So because I was so excited about that, I wanted to bring Chelsea to all of you, just like I'm bringing her to my clients. So please, Chelsea, take a few minutes and introduce yourself.
Oh, thanks, Jen. I don't know. I don't even have any words after that intro. That's the best. It's like what I live for. Okay, my name's Chelsea Oyler. I am the founder of Elevated Leadership Company, and we help female entrepreneurs scale their business through several different things, several different ways. But most importantly, it's really the identity that we are living within that creates the results that we can achieve within our business. And so when I find a lot of entrepreneurs, they are burning the candle at both ends. They are white knuckling their business. They're missing kids' soccer games and dance recitals because they're constantly tied to their business. They're handcuffed to it. And they're really at a point that their growth is stunted. They've probably not hit their revenue goals for the prior couple years in a row, and they're starting to get really frustrated and burnt out. And that's where we really have to look at, what is the driving force here? Where do we want to go? And also, like, how can we have not only a business that we love, but a life that we love and that works in harmony with it as well? Because nobody wants to build a business that burns us out and takes away from our life every single day. So that's what I'm really passionate about. I love helping female entrepreneurs blow their own minds with what they can achieve in their business while also having the life that they love and dream of, like in parallel to that. So I spent 15 years in the corporate world, working my way up the ladder. I was dead set on getting to that corner office, and I got a couple steps away from it and said, wait a minute, I don't want that. That looks terrible. And so I exited corporate. I've been full-time in my business for 2 years. I started it 2 years prior to my exit and worked it on the side until I went full-time.
Now, I think that's one of the reasons why we connected so well is because we both had that corporate background. We both had that experience of running up the ladder. And then once we got there, we're kind of looking around going, oh my gosh, this is not what I expected. And then actually, which is what I love about you, is we both took 2 years to plan our exit. Right. So that when we were ready to pull the trigger or have the trigger pulled on us, when, however you want to look at it, that we were ready. We had a plan. And I think for me, one of the biggest things that I've loved about working with you, because, we met through our joint marketing coach and our female mastermind, was the fact that, you could really take all those lessons that we learned as top operators in our company and apply them to entrepreneurship. Because for me, that transition was actually quite difficult because when I first left corporate, it was to go into the network marketing space, which is very, very different than even running I would say a consultative online business in the space.
Yes.
Right? There's because it's really just you, right? So when I first started working with you, it was amazing to say, okay, I could immediately click with what you were saying, but it was your immediate knowledge about how to apply those principles that I used to work in a big corporate environment. And how do I apply that to my single entity LLC?
Yeah.
I really want to grow and explode and serve, so many women, but I'm like,
yes,
I'm doing everything myself.
100%. So that's the really the task that a lot of entrepreneurs face when we first start up whatever our business is, right? But I really love to work with service-based entrepreneurs. So it's usually something that we're doing through our own mind. It's not a product that we're selling, right? And the interesting thing is, even if we've had a lot of success in corporate, we've done that within a channel, right? So I've had this one channel that I need to focus on. So while I still may be wearing a few hats, when you think about all the responsibilities that I have within that channel, I'm not responsible for a lot of other things, right? In the last role that I was in an operations role. And so when it came to marketing, I got pulled in by the marketing department a few times, like, hey, let's run this campaign and I want your thoughts on it. But they took it and ran with it. And then all of a sudden you enter into entrepreneurship and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm the marketing department, the HR department, the sales department, the fulfillment department, admin, bookkeeping. Oh my gosh. And that is a lot of hats to wear. And we get to a certain point within our business that we have to understand that unless we start taking some of those hats off and giving those responsibilities to someone else, we literally will stall out. We will hit a growth ceiling. And then it's for a lot of entrepreneurs, it's finding that, what is that? What do I want to let go of? What do I want to hold on to? How do I juggle all of this? How do I keep all these balls in the air? And also, like, take care of myself, take care of my family. And yeah, it is a very different way of approaching business. So a lot of people, want to say I have the corporate experience, but you're right. When you jump in entrepreneurship, you're now taking on the hat of the manager of multiple different departments where you maybe
Exactly.
had one before.
Yeah. And I think that was actually a really good discussion that we had when you're like, Jen, just simply, write down what you're doing and then try and figure out, okay, what role is that? Because then as I look to grow and expand an organization, it makes it that much easier to say, okay, I'm hiring for this skill set.
Yes.
Right. And I want to offload these things because I don't want to do them anymore.
Mhm.
It's not my unique brilliance. It's not bringing me joy.
Yeah.
And so I have just so appreciated the clarity and the strategy that
Yeah.
you've brought to me building out this business.
Yeah. And if I can add one more quick thing on that, and I know that's not the focus of our conversation today, so I don't want to take up too much time here. But for entrepreneurs that aren't at the point that they can start offloading those things, right? It's just as simple as being really clear on what hat am I wearing right now while I'm in this role, while I'm trying to take care of these responsibilities, while I'm trying to make decisions. Because just like putting on the identity of, okay, now I'm in my marketing role. This is how I need to think, act, behave. This is how I need to understand how it's going to impact the other parts of the business. Because your identity as a marketer is very different from your identity as operations or fulfillment. And sometimes we don't have another person to hand that hat off to, right? But we have to learn to think differently. We have to learn to compartmentalize those things so that we can make the best decisions for our business and for our clients, depending on what hat we're wearing at the time.
Absolutely. And so then having that clarity, having the ability to really think through that's where this breathwork technique came in. And so Chelsea facilitated an amazing session that I was a part of, my first ever breathwork like this, when we were out in Boise last October. And I knew then it was different. It was special. And this is from someone who really understands nervous system regulation and dysregulation, right? Really knows meditation is amazing, but has never been able to do a consistent practice herself, right? So I love what you're doing with this breath work, and it's literally changed how I approach everything in terms of even, business goals, personal goals, how I think through things. Let the breath take you, right? The breath will take you where you need to go. So can you share with people, number one, kind of, what is this breathwork technique that you're certified in? And then I'd also just love to know, how did you know that was something that would align so beautifully with your business in terms of helping women scale and grow to seven figures and beyond?
Oh my gosh. Such a great question. So yeah, let's take that one part at a time. So the breathwork technique that I am certified in is called hypno breathwork. Hypno breathwork is a cutting edge method that helps or uses breathwork to clear energetic patterns, uses hypnosis to get us into a trance-like state so we can be suggestive with our subconscious mind. So it helps us reprogram subconscious beliefs that we may not even be aware of. And then it uses visioning to take intuitive action. So the thing that I love so much about it is you can get to where you're trying to go, as you mentioned, Jen, with so many different modalities. I am not here to say that hypno breathwork or any type of breathwork technique is the one and only way to get there.
Right.
But as busy entrepreneurs, as women who are out there grinding and trying to like make some major strides within a pretty short amount of time in their business, it's just an accelerated and optimized way to do that. And so why this is so important is because when we reach the age of adulthood, we are 95% acting from our subconscious mind. Our thoughts, actions, beliefs, 95% of everything that we think, believe, and do, we are completely unconscious to it. So when we have that level of unconsciousness, you think about how we're showing up in the world every day. Even when we set a goal, if we have a deep-seated subconscious belief system that doesn't align with that goal, and 95% of the time, that's where we are like automatically operating from, you can see the disconnect, right? You can say that I want to lose those last 10 pounds all you want. But if you have something that was programmed in childhood that you're not even aware of, that maybe, let's say, for example, your parents had a belief system that people that are too skinny are really unhealthy, or people that are really, really skinny are really selfish.
Or you can't get up from the table until you finish your plate.
Or you can't get up from the table until you finish your plate, right? Like they're not walking around all day consciously thinking that thought. It's subconscious, it's deep seated. And when that belief system that's been programmed from the age of 0 to 7 is when we are the most susceptible. And when those belief systems really get ingrained, right? It's like hardwired, not just softwired into our brain. And so the point is, if that's what is hardwired and we're up here saying, this is what I want to achieve, this is what I want to do, your subconscious is the operating system. It's what's running the show 95% of the time. So when we're able to, within 22 minutes, get into a session, find that subconscious root, that belief system, get you into a hypnotic state, reprogram it, immediately your conscious and your subconscious are aligned, and you're able to take action that can actually get you the result that you're looking to achieve.
I think first of all, the fact that it's about 20 minutes is amazing, because anything less than 30 minutes seems completely doable. And especially if you want to establish a pattern and a habit to be able to do it daily, which for me is really most effective. Mm-hmm. But I think for most women, whether they're my clients or people I'm talking to or whatnot, we are just so overscheduled and overstimulated, and we are just jumping from thing to thing, task to task, and really our lives in a way are not our own, because everything that we're doing, it feels like it's governed by somebody else's need, demand, want. Yep. And what I love about a breathwork session is that it allows me to get quiet. Yes. And really listen, because I'm a firm believer that, our gut is our second brain, literally, with the amount of neurons that are in there, but we're never listening to it. We're never listening to ourselves. And I had a consult a few weeks ago where I asked a woman, I asked her, I said, if we achieve these goals working together on this program, how do you see your life being different? And she said, I have no idea. Mm-hmm. I've never stopped to even think about what I want my life to be like. She's like, I can't even imagine what that would feel like. Mm-hmm. I was like, wow.
Exactly. And, going back to something that you said about just our nervous system, right? If breath can do nothing more than this, within 4 minutes, we have taken you from sympathetic into parasympathetic, from fight or flight into a baseline state. Mm-hmm. Just that in and of itself, the value, I could go on for hours talking about how that can benefit you every single day, to make sure that you're just spending that time out of fight or flight. If most women, like the one you just referenced, when we think about the day-to-day life, juggling the career, the business, the kids, the spouse, the friends, and then we think about even trying to take time for ourselves, what we usually think that looks like is let's take a bath or go to a spa day. But the most important thing is regulating your nervous system, When you are not regulated, you are not making any decisions from that space that you were speaking to, Jen, that gut space, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You're not letting your body guide. You're not letting your own internal wisdom have a seat at the table. And so we're missing out on so much when we're not neutralizing ourselves.
So much. And then, I teach about that in one of my master classes, that impact of that stress. And when it's chronic, right? Depleting our sex hormones and driving blood sugar, destabilization. So two things that you do not want to have happen if you're a woman who is trying to live a healthy, balanced life. So
Yes.
how did you know? Because this has been transformative for me, both for my business and very much so in my personal life, with like thinking through relationships or challenges that come up, whether it's kids, spouse, other relatives. It has been such a game changer for me. How did you know that this would fit well into your business model with your particular brand of client?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that question back to the surface. What's really interesting for me, to give a tiny bit of backstory here, is I had no idea about this modality until about August of last year. And I have been working over the last 2 years to really start to allow my inner wisdom to have that seat at the table, because for my entire life, when we talk about childhood programming, I mean, everything has been up here. I am a doer. I'm an achiever. It is not about feeling, it's about doing, right? It's like, I don't have time to stop and wonder what's going on in my body or what my inner wisdom is trying to tell me. I got to go. I have things to do. I have things to achieve. And so I've always been very logical minded, very strategic. And for the last 2 years, I've really just had this push, this pull, I should say, to get in tune more with my feminine wisdom, with my own internal voice. And that journey has been absolutely incredible. It's taught me so many things about myself. But through that, I have developed this really deep reverence and respect for my intuition. And I'm learning, I'm not saying that I've got it mastered, but I'm learning every single day how to let it lead. We have everything we need already inside us as humans. It's all the noise that we take on when Jen, when you said overstimulated, right? It's all the things that we allow into our atmosphere, for lack of a better term, that quiet the noise on our own internal wisdom, on our own internal voice, on that intuition. And I am now deeply passionate about helping other women figure out how to raise the volume on that intuitive voice, because if we can let that have a seat at the table, that's our highest wisdom telling us this is probably the decision that you should make. This is for your best good, right? Mm-hmm. So hypno breathwork literally came about as a result of that process. I had an intuitive thought that led me to a podcast that had the founder as an interview guest. At the end of it, she offered a session for like $1. I downloaded it. For whatever reason, I couldn't figure out how to squeeze it into my schedule for several weeks until there was a day that I absolutely needed it. I had a situation happen with a former colleague that really drove me into a fight or flight state. I mean, I was up here. I was so activated. And I did that breathwork session, and it literally changed everything for me in that moment. And I knew I needed more. Ironically, at the exact moment of that, she had announced the certification for it. And I'm thinking, why would I need to get certified in this? I just want this for myself. And that little voice just kept saying to me, there's a reason you need to be in that room. Okay. So I went and I dropped a whole bunch of money to go get certified in this thing that I had no idea how I was going to answer the question that you just asked me. And through that certification process, a 4-day process, just in the breathwork sessions we did there, it all came in. All the answers come if you allow the time and space. And that's what I love about this process is, as busy females, most of us with families and a business, we don't have endless days to sit around and meditate. Within a 20-minute session, all of those answers came. And so I use this with my clients and with inside of other coaches programs to optimize the results that we're looking to achieve. Because just like we started out by saying, I can give my clients the perfect step-by-step strategy. You can give your clients the perfect roadmap to get from A to Z, to heal their hormones, to lose that weight, right? To balance how their mood and their sleep is during the menopause phase, right? All of those things, we can give them that perfect roadmap. But if there's something lodged in their subconscious that is literally, they can't even see it, but they just feel it, causing resistance in them taking those actions, we will not get those results. And I know for you, Jen, because we know each other so well, and this is where our hearts align, I don't desire to have people in my programs and not get them the results.
Exactly.
And I want to get them the results faster. So that's what this does.
It's so critical. And doing the breath work, because we were so fortunate that you started doing those sessions with us in our mastermind, which was terrific. And that's when it came to me in those sessions, because I was trying to think about how am I going to improve the program based on client feedback and client results and other learnings that I had been doing throughout the year. How do I improve it for 2024? And during a breathwork session, it became so obvious to me, you know what, because there's a lot of, like you said earlier, there's so many great techniques and tools for us to connect. But they're not all going to work for everybody.
100%.
And for me, when I was in a breathwork session, I'm like, wait a minute, why don't I bring Chelsea into this process for my clients? And that's when I reached out to you, and you're just like, absolutely. So I'm so excited about what we put together. But I guess for you, I mean, what makes you most excited about being, adding this amazing modality to Fatigue to Fabulous?
I think that, and correct me if I'm speaking out of turn, Jen, but I think that by the time a lot of women find you, they've tried about 100 different things. And they've probably gone on the fad diets or some sort of craze of the flavor of the month, right? And they might find success, but when they return back to their normal life and they feel like they've graduated out of the program, everything just keeps flooding back, right?
I think they've been on this diet roller coaster for so long. And so really applying the principles and internalizing it and really becoming the woman who they want to be, which, let's face it, there's a lot of people are talking more about menopause and perimenopause lately, which is amazing. I love it. This is so under discussed, so under researched. But I think the message is really getting out there saying, look, especially as women are hitting these hormonal changes earlier and earlier because of diet, because of stress, because of all these things, that look, when you hit menopause, it's not over. Just because you can't have a kid anymore doesn't mean you have no place in society, right? I mean, there's just the image of a woman in menopause. Even to me, when I was younger, I used to be a little, blue-haired old lady who sat around and knit and had a lot of cats, and here I am at 50, and I fully transitioned to menopause last year, and I'm like, that is not me. And that's not any of these women that I work with. I have a beautiful client now. She's 62, and she's just crushing this program. And she's so fit and so into holistic health and just embraced all the principles. And I think for most women, though, they have that image in their head about, okay, it's menopause and it's kind of over. Well, no, it's not. You got like 40 plus years of living left to do. How do you do it?
So
even we need this.
Yes. That's another great example that you bring up. So, going back to the client, when they meet you, when you have gone through so many programs, you start to create a wiring in your brain that this stuff doesn't work for me, or I just am big boned, or this, I just can't.
I've aged out.
Yeah, I've aged out. Like all these things, we start to ingrain these beliefs, which again are at odds with our desires. And so the simple fact that if we can get our inner state to match our outer desires, our outer reality will come into place, right?
Absolutely.
And then you just touched on something that's even deeper than that, is when a woman approaches this stage of life and she has this vision for what it looks like from there on out, that's a pretty sad place to be. And when that's what you believe that your reality is now going to look like, your life will probably follow suit. So if we can take, a series of these sessions and we can help you reprogram what a different future might look like and help your brain actually believe that, we can really give the gift of a better life to women.
Absolutely. I mean, because it's just a massive identity shift. I mean, these women have had kids and now they're, graduated college and they're getting jobs and they're getting married. And so they're left with all this time. And maybe they're left with a partner and they haven't even sat down and had a conversation with this partner. So they're looking at this other person who maybe there is a stranger to them, and they're looking at themselves and they're a stranger to themselves and just wondering, okay, what now? And then they think, okay, well, I've been carrying baby weight since baby number 2 for, 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, or or the other scenarios is I've always been fit and now all of a sudden I don't even recognize myself in the mirror anymore. These things are all identity shifts. And to be able to give a framework that helps you reconnect with yourself. And what I love about you is during the breathwork sessions, right? And maybe you could talk a little bit more about this, but when someone's actually in a breathwork session, you're posing these amazing questions and things for them to think about. So it's not just meditating on nothing. It's you're given a question to think about. That's the other thing I really love about this. And so that question guides and the breath takes you through it.
Yeah.
So it's so
my job is just to get someone into theta state, because that's where their subconscious is available and suggestible, right? And then just prompt you with questions that allows your subconscious mind, the beauty of your own creativity and the person that you are, to come up with those answers. Like when people hear hypno, a lot of times I think they believe that I'm like, I'm going to make you bark like a dog on stage, right? Like when we think about like hypnosis. It's just getting you into a hypnotic state and then asking you prompting questions based on where I know you want to go. My job is just to ask the right questions to let your own internal wisdom get you there. And going back to what you said about identity, right? Some people it can take years for them to try to put on that different identity. If in a 20-minute session, we can go in and we can like accept and honor the past, but release it, our past identity, and then embrace and vision that next stage, we can immediately step into that.
Yeah.
It's just expedited. We just want to get you there faster.
It is so expedited. Yeah. That's what we really, really want. And I think, well, let's talk about real quick then how the program is actually structured so that they know how it works. So Fatigue to Fabulous, I think a lot of people know what the program is, but just to reiterate, I focus on women who are 40 plus. So I have clients in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, and they really want to lose weight. They want to feel more healthy. They want to have more energy. They want their achy joints to go away. They want to fit in their clothes, especially their jeans, because, mental belly can pop in, all these things. And like we said earlier, they've really tried a lot of things, but the core of it is that what used to work for them in their 20s and 30s, your body has evolved. So the strategy that you use to get your results, that has to evolve too. And so when they come into Fatigue to Fabulous, they get a 3-part roadmap where, we focus month 1 on consistent eating goals, getting the chaos out of their routines. Month 2, really creating some fantastic deeper healing on their journey through the use of like a functional medicine detox. And then phase 3, month 3, really focusing on a healing hormone journey. And the whole framework, you have got great one-on-one coaching with me and support tools and a portal and everything to tell you what you need to do. And even an app to help in between sessions so that, my clients are always supported on a very, very customized plan. Yeah. And what I love about what we've created together for the hypno breathwork piece is, they come in and as part of, prep week, they're introduced to you in the concept and they get to have that one-on-one first session. That's so powerful. We played with that a little bit. Should it be a recorded session? Should it be one-on-one? And tell me why it was so important to you to have one-on-one live for the first session.
I think so. first off, we want to dispel any concerns or myths that they have about even what the term breathwork or hypnobreathwork means, right? I really want them to feel safe and comfortable going into this space, because if they're in their heads, if they're like not sure, if they're, feel unsafe in any way, they're not going to be able to drop into the practice. They're not going to get the results they're looking for. So I think that first session live with a guide is so incredibly powerful, because that first session really cements your love and like desire to do more. And the more we do this modality, every single day, if we can do this modality, our lives can accelerate and change in the most beautiful way so quickly. So I love, selfishly, I just love doing live sessions. Like when somebody takes off the blindfold and they sit up, I'm like, oh yeah, you just had a good, like, it feeds my soul.
Oh, for sure. It was amazing. And we've done several live sessions. And so I absolutely know that feeling, and especially the first one that we did together one-on-one. It was absolutely incredible. I think I was like tingling, and I had really great visualizations and just the clarity again that comes out of it. And so we have that one-on-one session, which is amazing. And then you've also created a library of breathwork sessions based on certain topics that can then be used again and again on demand throughout the course of the program. So I really love how you put those together too. And again, follow your breath in 20 minutes and reset.
100%.
Yeah.
Some days are just tough days. Like I've got sessions for myself when I'm having a super stressful day. I pop in, and there's mini sessions also. So I have a couple sessions that if I need even more of an expedited, we pop into a 10-minute. So we created similar things like that. If they're having a rough day and they're, in a phase of the program that feels a little bit harder, or they're just like, we're human. Our doubts start coming in and we're like, why am I doing this to myself? Right? We can pop into a 10-minute session and immediately come at it with that clarity and that centeredness. Like, oh, I know exactly why I'm here. And I know exactly why I'm doing this. And that is one of the things that can really sabotage people when they make a commitment to something, if they don't have that tool, because we're human. It's going to happen. Our brains don't want us to change, because change means more work for our brains. It means that they have to reprogram, they have to rewire, they have to pay attention to different things. Our brains are designed to be as lazy as possible, because it preserves energy. Yeah. And so our brains, if we are not aware of this, and if we don't have the tools to grab when we become aware of it, we will self-sabotage over and over, and we won't be able to get those dream results that we're looking for. So beginning of the program is a lot about just meeting you where you are, giving so much love and respect to your past self, your past identity, but also like being able to say goodbye to that. Like, I'm becoming a different person, so I now have to release that past identity. And then there's sessions of really getting you into the future of what you're going to look like, how you're going to feel, like the ability to sit in a session and just visualize what you're going to look like at the end of a program. That is programming that in your brain. You're programming that into your subconscious. So when you're having the hard days, your subconscious, your mind is already programmed to reach back and grab that and be like, oh yeah, because this is where we're going. And then the quick sessions for the hard days. We have sessions around building new habits. There's the program is so beautiful. I'm so proud of the work that we've done together in it to really support your clients and get them those results that they desire.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think this is a game changer. I don't know any other program out there that combines this level of breath work, reprogramming within a framework that focuses on supporting the healing journey physically for the over 40 woman, right? So we've got both the physical and the mental journey, and the two really, they come together so beautifully. And I am so excited to have more and more women go through this process. And that being said, because we are talking today, I did want to offer something to our streaming viewers here. It's spring, right? The program is 90 days. If you start and complete it through, let's see, April, May, June, there is an amazing amount of physical and mental transformation that you can do in a 90-day period. It's just 12 weeks, but there's so much that you can do. So I did want to offer people a special gift if they're interested in joining. Anyone who does enroll with me on Fatigue to Fabulous so that you can work with me and work with the brilliant Chelsea, I'm going to offer a free gift. It is a stress, mood, and metabolism in-home lab test, which who doesn't love in-home labs, right? You guess and you guess and you guess about what's going on and you try to create something. But when you have the lab and you have got the results and I can create a custom supplement, nutrition, exercise, detox routine for you, it is just brilliant. You can just go into this with no reservations, full confidence and say, I know what's going on in my body now. I know why I feel this way. I know why I'm feeling kind of crazy. So this test, it's a $500 value. It's absolutely really invaluable though, in terms of the amount of data that it's going to give you and in terms of the confidence and clarity that it'll give you going forward. So if you are interested in this, if you are intrigued by this, definitely reach out to me here on LinkedIn. I've also got in the comments the link where you, if it's easier for you, you can go online and schedule an appointment. But if you enroll by the end of the day on Easter, you will get not only access to the full framework of all the, the tools and the templates and the meal plans and the customizations, but the ability to take an in-home lab that will look at all your sex hormones, your cortisol levels, your whole adrenals and thyroid, your vitamin D levels, right? Your cortisol as it goes throughout the day so that we can see what that curve looks like and give you both the tools and some really custom supplementation, because supplementation is terrific for getting you quick relief while you build the habits, both mentally and physically, to be able to manage that better going forward. So again, this is, it's the number one lab that my clients love. I have taken it 3 times now in the past 2 years as I've watched my journey. And again, invaluable source of information. So please, please, please go ahead and check out the resources. Go ahead. Your next step would be to click on the link to book a one-on-one consult with me or send me a DM here on LinkedIn. And again, you could take advantage of the full program with the benefit of an in-home lab a result. Don't guess when you can test. Okay.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for your clients. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible test. And the great thing is too, is you can start the program. And then when you get the test, you can get the lab. So really by say your second month, you can go even deeper into the customized protocol. So really the timing works beautifully because you want to do that beginning work first. And then you can, roll forward with the custom supplementation. So it's such a terrific ad. I've had clients do the program with and without. Both have been very successful, but with is just, I think, so much more exciting. Yeah. Terrific. Well,
Incredible.
Chelsea, thank you so much for being here today, for all the support and the brilliance that you have unleashed on me and my program to make it so much better so I can serve more women so that they can get what they want, right? That's the most important thing. And I just love watching your journey too. And
thanks, girl.
Thanks so much for being part of it. I love it.
So good.
All right. We will talk soon. And again, I appreciate all you're doing. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, Jen.
Bye-bye.